Yeah, immediately the chair leaves the chair, I become governor, which I will not necessarily share if I see the same question that I was given as a lead from May seat. The issue was when and how the tender was advertised. The tender was advertised on Monday, 27th January 2025, through page 2 of the Daily Nation for the supply and delivery of hybrid maize under tender number 170-6296 of 2024-2025 as Pandex 1, which is on page 6. Additionally, the tender notice was published on the official Trans Nzoia account website, www.transnzoia.go.ke, the suppliers portal, www.supplier.treasury.go.ke, the government tenders portal, www.tenders.go.ke, and the county public service board. 2, the list of companies or entities that submitted bids for the tender. Number 1 was Kenya Seed Company Limited of PO Box 553, 3200 Kitale. Relief Line Kenya Limited of PO Box 25914, 100 Nairobi. And Western Seed Company of PO Box 1022, 3200 Kitale. Number C, the evaluation and awarding criteria outlined in the tender documents. The evaluation, which was at 3 stages, the preliminary, technical evaluation, and financial evaluation, and awarding criteria was as contained in the tender document, indicating the actual scores as per the attached Appendix 2, which is on page 8. Question 4, quantity of maize seed procured and the unit cost per bundle, and whether the cost was aligned to the prevailing market rates at the time of procurement. 256,029 packets of 2 kg each. 1 kg at a unit price of Kenya shillings 210. 2 kg at a unit price of Kenya shillings 420. A bundle has 12 packets of 2 kilograms costing 5,040 Kenya shillings per bundle. Note, based on the approved budget and market price, the initial quantity that was to be procured was 145,700 at a cost of 690. This was based on the market survey. You have to go to the market with the price as per Appendix 3 on page 23, requisition form. However, the Ministry of Agriculture circular reference number MOA/LCD/9/16/7, which revised the Kenya Seed Company pricing to Kenya shillings 420 per 2 kg packet, as documented in Appendix 4 on page 28, enabled the department to procure 256,029 packets out of estimated targeted population of 400,000 poor small-scale farmers, as per Kipra 2024. Number 5, criteria for identification and vetting of the beneficiaries, including the total number of packets of maize allocated to each beneficiary. Eligibility criteria. These must be small-scale farmers, small-scale land owners of 0.2 acres or less who are poor. Another category of widows, the youth, the elderly, persons living with disabilities, women or resource poor individuals. The selection of beneficiaries was conducted through a thorough vetting process by a designated ward selection committees. The County Executive Committee member is the appointing authority of the vetting committees as per the Trans Nzoia County Crop Agriculture Act 2021, Clause 9, which is Appendix 5 on page 30. The vetting criteria adopted the guidelines developed from Clause 10 of the Crops Act, that's Appendix 6 on page 34. Each beneficiary was allocated 1 packet of 2 kilograms certified hybrid seed maize. Number 6, the mode of communication with the public and how the distribution was undertaken in the county. The public was informed through multiple channels, the usual one that we use, including the ward planning committees, which comprise of ward administrator, ward agricultural officer, area chief, a representative of the area member of the county assembly, representatives of youths, representative of persons with disabilities, and representative of women. Distribution of notification letters to ward administrators, chiefs and village elders, use of public address systems, social media platforms, and public posters. How were the distributions undertaken in the county? Venues were identified per ward as per the third schedule, Appendix 7 on page 39. The distribution was done publicly at the identified venues. And for the chairman, I want to confirm that I attended all the distribution activities in all the 25 wards. Some had 2 venues, others had 1, but I was personally present in all of them. So that's our report. The rest are supporting documents.
Is that all? Do you want to cede way to your CCM Agriculture to say anything or to add anything?
Unless you have something to add, that was the report from the counter. Maybe if there are any issues to be raised, then we'll respond.
So you're prepared for questions. Members, what just for some direction, Governor, if we ask you questions and should you want to consult or ask your CCM to respond, you'll ask for leave so that they can then respond to the question. Now, just some housekeeping issues. I want you to refer to page 10, page 13, page 16 and 18. Go to page 10. Members, go to page 10. I don't know whether all of you are able to read, whether your page 10s are legible. Maybe you can. Page 10, you can go to page 10 that has a list of the score sheet. What is the date of page 10? Governor, just page 10. We cannot clearly see. Is there a date for at page 10?
It's 10. 3rd of February. 3rd of February, 2025.
Well, where is the 3rd of February? That's or 3rd of, up on the part of the date.
Just before farms, that is satisfied. It's the date.
They're different. Some are not ready. What about page 13? We go to page 13 again, the one that is also not very clear. 13 was not, some of them are not numbered. I don't know whether you have page 13. And page 16 as well. 16 again is not very clear. I think the same document.
Yeah. We have it.
And page 17 and 18 as well.
Yeah, documents that were written by hand. So many of them.
They become unclear. The team should make better for this next time. Now, so Governor, you have presented, you have indicated the supply chain and how the procurement process was undertaken. I would ask members to dive right to questions. I will start with Mr. Abbas.
Thank you, Chair.
Senator Abbas, proceed.
For one, I think I will ask through your Chair about whether the Governor can be able to present something readable that's eligible to be seen, that can be seen. Because these are very important documents. So you can have original copies or whatever, however you do it. I request for copies. So, okay, my question is, Honorable Speaker, sorry, Governor. You know, in line with Section 104(1) of County Government Act 265, can you confirm that the document series was part of the approval plans or part of the budget? You have approval?
I can confirm, Chair, that we had a budget for the seat. It was captured even in our procurement plan.
You have a copy of that plan?
You have it?
Governor, have you shared that document with your response?
No. It was not part of the queries.
So are you able to avail the document?
Yes, we have. We have the document.
Senator is referring to.
Actually, I'm told it's attached. Which page? Page 40. On page 40.
On the same point?
Yes.
Proceed, Senator.
Page 40. Approved development budget estimates for financial year 2024-2025.
The problem is that your responses are not numbered. There's no numbering. There's no numbering of the documents that I have. What I have does not have, is not paginated.
Time, Chair, the time. We can't have a perfect document because of the shortness of time.
Page 40.
Development budget.
Yes. Under 311301, purchase of certified crop seed. It's 100,503,121.
So this thing approved by the Assembly?
Definitely. It was.
Do you have the approvals by the Assembly? Do you have evidence of approval by the Assembly? Now that you I think is a question you need to complete.
Yes, you know, once the Assembly approves the budget, it's going to be for sent. So really, if a copy is required, I can get it from my office.
Yes, it's important because that's an important question.
Because the budget, the approved budget is there, we can provide it.
Yes, I think that's important for your department to ensure that
It's provided.
it's available for purposes of responding to that question comprehensively. Okay. Senator Bass, any other question?
No, good.
Senator Bungoma.
Now, you have clearly indicated that it was budgeted for.
Yes.
I want to find out from your office if there is a clear inventory after the supply of these seats, if there is an inventory of who received them, how they were kept, and by the time of distribution, if there is any documentation to that effect. So that you can be able to know that they truly supplied what has been given to us today.
Honorable Senator, the inventory is there of what was procured and received and how it was distributed.
Do you have copies of the delivery, whoever delivered, who received, and who was issuing the seats as they were going to the field? The documentation part of it.
We have the documentation.
Please.
Which page is it? S13, for receiving.
Again, there is no pagination. I need to know, can you share that actual page, because we don't have...
This one is a bulk document. It's not contained in the report. The file is here.
So does that file have a list of beneficiaries and a list of deliveries, word by word?
Chair, what we have is a list of S13s. These are documents that you issue when you receive supplies. That have received this quantity of supplies you received with that. And then now you issue with an S11. We have them here. Now the person who receives with that S11 is the one who generates the distribution list, and it is there. All that chain is there. We can provide it.
So Governor, you are saying that you have a list of all the beneficiaries who received the receipts per ward?
Yes.
Do you have it here? Can you table the entire set of documents? Can you table that?
We have it. They can go and get it.
Can they? Because we need it table. Because that is.
Honorable Chair, before he leaves, you know, we were talking about whoever received the seats from the company or the tender, and whoever was issuing the seats from the warehouse, because they were specific based on your research. If it was going to Kaplamai, there is a form that was filled by the person in charge going to the specific ward, so that we escalate from the person in charge to the ward. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. So if they have it, we'll be glad to have them.
That information is there.
So how long do you need to bring that information? It's important to tell. So I assume that then you have the list that will indicate the dates when seats were taken, for instance, to Machewa, Virunda, Kasudi, Sabata, Mbai, Mbao, with the numbers, with the specific numbers. Namwichula, Halwenge, all those places.
We have all of them.
A distribution chain.
It's here, we have. Of course, there are 25. There are 25 files.
Yes.
Because I've got 25 wards. And some wards have got more like 2-3 files because there are 2-3 venues.
So do you need time? Do you want to table them now, or do you need how much time do you need to bring those documents?
They're just in the record. They can be brought.
Yes, I think they can be brought then.
You know, the problem is we are not told the required documents. You look at the questions, Chair. So that's fairly straightforward. This information, this information, this information. But now these particular details, you know, if we're told now come with this and this and this, we'll be having this, we'll be having all this information.
Okay, so let him avail those documents as we proceed. Senator, any other question?
Maybe, Chair.
Yes, Senator Abbas.
See, was there a public consultation when they could distributing the seats? What criteria do you use? Are you give it to everybody, or you give it to specific Thomas?
As I said,
Are you doing groups?
no. We use the poverty index to identify the number of eligible people for this seat in Tanzania. One of our guiding principles was that we'll give farmers who have a maximum of 0.2 acres. We call them Mutembei. The 2 kgs of maize seed would comfortably be planted on 0.2. So prior to the distribution of these seeds, we had identified there would be beneficiaries, and the numbers were huge. Because some places we had around 10,000 people, 15,000 people. When we issue this seed, and outside I would think it's a very chaotic assignment, but they don't know that a lot of planning has gone into it. We know our people, we know who is eligible, and we know who is not eligible. So it was not just like we call a random distribute seed. That's why we put a list of beneficiaries.
Governor, just on that question, I think it's good to clarify. Where did you get the poverty index for Trans Nzoia? Because there's none.
Kipra.
Because there's none. Where do you get disaggregated to the wards? How do you determine poor people in Trans Nzoia? And does it mean that if you own half an acre or 0.2 acres, as you say, then you are poor? Because there are people who own half an acre and are richer than those who own 10 acres.
Mr. Chairman, those of us who grew in the village, you don't need that to know a poor person. But there are people who think that poverty is an academic exercise. So we engage in those kind of arguments. But a person who is poor, you go to the village, just this person is poor. And that's what we're talking about. A person having 0.2 acres of land, and he has got 10 children, he has got a wife, he's about to share that same piece of land with the children who are married. You know, poverty out there doesn't need indicators, academic indicators. It just need, it's known. Academic translate talking about 38% poverty index, but you look at other authorities, again they talk of 60%. So basically, like every little small scale farmer in Trans Nzoia is poor. If it were for me, I wouldn't even do targeting, and if I had money, I'd just buy it and distribute to everyone.
Governor, I'm asking this because I personally distribute seed. I buy and distribute.
I'm sure you struggle with means testing, even the way she struggle with means testing.
Except the money from my pocket. But let me answer the question.
Yes.
What was the threshold of poverty that your team used in seed distribution? Or did you involve, I think it's talking about public works, did you involve the ward administrators and other levels of administration to identify people who are poor?
There is a criteria that is contained, it's on page 4. I read it. The criteria is there, eligibility criteria.
Through the chair, I'm looking at the criteria and the good minister is here. It says, your report, selection of beneficiaries was conducted through a thorough vetting process by designated ward selection committees. If I stop at that and ask through the governor, do you have minutes of the planning as a minister, the planning for the distribution of those seats at the county level, the minutes of that thing, and then escalate that to the minutes of formalizing or formulating these committees which you are in charge to formulate? And where were they done? And at what time? And then we proceed from that. When did you officially appoint these people? And that now comes to the question. Where, Governor, when you are talking us through that, it was announced in various platforms. I'd like to see if you have copies of notification to the chiefs that you have indicated, to the ward administrators as you've indicated, to the representatives of the county assembly like my good friend who is here. If we can get those notices of notification that this is the process that's going to be done. We have those minutes and that through the governor.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, proceed, the governor, proceed.
Mr. Chair, we appear to be addressing issues we do not know. What is the issue? Are we saying that we don't distribute seed? Are we saying that we gave to the wrong people? Are we saying that we didn't buy seed? Because we need to know what the issue is. What is the issue we are responding to? When we look at our ingredients, that's just general statements. But we go to the specifics. What is, was there a complaint? What is the issue? So that we really know the background, so that we respond when we talk about. Because what the member is talking about, if you give the employers a set way of distributing maize seed in Kenya, you must have this committee, you must have this one. What authority is it quoting? So We need to know what the issue is. What are the issues?
Through the chair, let me just go through this. Page 4 of the submissions of eligibility criteria issue. Small scale landowners who are poor, widows, youth, persons with disability, and all that. Selection of beneficiaries was conducted through vetting process by designated ward selection committees.
Yes.
So the question I asked for the first time is, where are the minutes of these ward selection committees as they were doing the vetting exercise? That is my point number 1.
Let us know that one.
I proceed.
What the minutes of what committees?
The ward selection committees.
Yes.
And if the vetting was done, the minutes must indicate those people they vetted.
Yes.
Because it must translate into the list of beneficiaries of the seats that you procured. Okay? And I've equally asked Good Waziri to give us, if she has the minutes, because you have the authority, the first meeting of planning for the distribution of these seats to the ward, if you have those minutes, so that it cascades down to the beneficiary of the seats.
Through the chair, yes we do.
Proceed. Do you have them? You can table them.
The minutes of what selection committees? Which files?
They were appointed by the CCM.
Yes.
Yes, so let's have the minutes of their proceedings so that we then can identify those beneficiaries. I'm sure they did. And Governor, you're asking, what are we looking for? We are not looking for anything. We are doing oversight over your processes as by the mandate of this committee. So I don't think we should be worried. And just to are you have another question? Governor, Mr. Bass, Senator, do you have any other question?
Maybe mine is actually on the same line. Honorable Speaker, Governor. You know, when you are executing this kind of force, cities, and every ward, there must be a part of policy where the receiving people, you have some evidence of where you have delivered, where there are photos or anything that what process where you met.
Chair, we have got all that information. And I said the documents we have are valid because the committees are per ward, and we have got 25 of them. We have all the information here for all the wards, the minutes, the list of beneficiaries per ward we have. And we are going to table all of them.
Governor,
if you check on your page 53,
proceed.
You look at page 3, appointment. This is our appointments were done. To what?
Sorry, which page?
53.
Okay.
That's an example of one guy who was appointed and later failed. My then, MCS representative. This was on the 17th of July 2024. Chair, you can allow to read the appointment letter.
Proceed.
Like now this appointment letter
Proceed.
Appointment to what subcommittee for some committee for scheduled crop Fukuza Njaa initiative. The county government of Trans Nzoia Department of Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Corporate Development is implementing the Fukuza Njaa initiative. The program is aimed at promoting food security in the county by promoting adoption and use of certified maize seeds by small-scale farmers. The program involves identification of beneficiaries, training of farmers, distribution of certified maize seed, and monitoring and evaluation. Purpose of this letter is to communicate the decision to appoint you as a ward-level committee member for Fukuza Njaa initiative for a period of 1 year from the date of this appointment. Your duty shall be to attend Fukuza Njaa initiative ward-level committee meetings, help in identification and vetting of beneficiaries in accordance with the set out guidelines, conduct regular monitoring and evaluation, give reports on the progress of the agricultural programs in your ward. I wish you well as you advance services for this great county. This letter is signed by Arthur Fanis Laliaka, the County Executive Committee member for Agriculture. And then on the next page, page 5, there's a sample of the minutes. When the meetings were held, you can go through and see what it talks about. And this applies to all the wards. And you're going to supply appointment letters for all the members, the committee minutes, and distribution lists for the beneficiaries, because we have all of them.
Yes, Senator.
Chair, through you, I think, as the governor had mentioned earlier before, that the 7 days was not enough for him to organize documents, more documents that you might have needed. Maybe for the documents that are not present, I'm just praying if the governor can give them time to table those documents.
Yes, he has not said whether he has the minutes of all the 25 wards, or the 25 committees that were appointed.
We have.
And if he has all the list of all the beneficiaries.
We have.
And you have all details, all bank statements that paid Kenya seed that was procured.
Yes.
And you have all the details, all those who got the IDs, you have all those.
All that.
And
you can even have a sample.
And you might even say you've also brought them.
If needed, they can be brought.
I will request through the chair that even the list, samples of the list of beneficiaries should be forwarded.
Yes, even the list of beneficiaries.
It's not a sample. It's a complete list. The actual list of the beneficiaries we have.
It's very encouraging to have the entire list. We'll need those lists presented.
Yes. So the other one, you will present them now, or will you ask for time?
We need copies of the lists or originals.
We need the original list because we need copy. We need to have them presented as per the.
Because now we are having
legible documents.
We are having an annual audit.
Yes.
That just started last week.
Sir, I think I'll advise eligible.
And I'm sure they're going to require
this one is not eligible actually. This one is actually not a proper.
Should be legible, yeah, because we need to have legible documents so that we don't come around. Because we look at as long as they're properly marked.
Chair, I would request that you give us a list of all the documents that you need, so that when we go back to Kitale, we just prepare all bundles and have them delivered here.
Yes, Mr. Senator Abbas.
Yes, Chair, I think, as you rightly said, the Chair, like Governor said, the Secretary can write all those things, all the articles that you require, or they can bring it, especially in a short time. One other question I have is that, Honorable Governor, what is your long-term plan for SIP? Because now that you have this program, one day we think, and you cannot be able to be spending out of money on this, you're spending 100 million shillings, right? And what is your plan for seed banking and seed questions? Do you have a plan for seed banking?
Chair, when the county government decides to buy seed, for farmers, and it generates a lot of excitement among the farmers. It goes to explain the level of poverty among the people, especially food poverty. We've given ourselves another maybe 2 years, because we announced a lot of programs of improvement. There's a lot of food security at the household level now. Actually, we're planning to do a bit of also subsidizing fertilizer, so that we really produce enough food. So once we are satisfied that our farmers can really now produce food and therefore start engaging in other economic activities, we're going to stop this, because the tokenism doesn't really last. It appears to be tokenism really, but we're just helping farmers. So once they're stable and they can stand on their own 2 feet, they can go to the shop and buy their own seed. We'll be good to go.
Now that you're talking about sustainability, it's important, just a follow-up question. Did you follow up, did your CCM and team follow up to find out, 1, whether the seeds germinated, 2, whether they are ready in the field, and 3, whether there are proper follow-up mechanisms that you intend to, as it were, M&D, whether you want to be following up this program as a continuous program of the county, or was it just a one-off?
It's not a one-off program, because you can't fight poverty in just 1 year. So it's a long-term program. Actually, we're going to focus on this for my first time in office, this first 5 years. Provision of seed is going to be key. But Chair, I want to beg you, because you guys are Mchakorogewa, Nairobi, why can't you find time and come to Kitale? Just come to Trans Nzoia.
You want us to visit the farms?
Please.
The governor?
Please, I can even facilitate it. Just come to the ground. So don't talk some academic exercise just being done somewhere. Just come and see for yourself, especially now. Just come. Those of you who see this something just happened somewhere in the air, the beneficiaries are not there, Kenya seed maybe is not there. Please come to the ground.
Sure.
Yes, Senator.
I think I want to tell the governor that the Senate has enough money to go to the field. They cannot be presented. We don't need presentation. However, it's good to go visit the place to see at least how farmers appreciate the program.
The governor, understanding Order 228, we are well resourced, so we can arrange. This committee can determine the mode of conducting its proceedings. We can decide after hearing you and after going through all these voluminous documents to visit, to actually come and see some of the farms. I have noted that in some pages, I think there are people who signed for others. I've seen, for instance, this is Napiswa. Napiswa, I can see that Colin Nasimiyu, Kutuhulu, and Alubina Naliaka Simiyu have the same ID number. They are both widows and they have the same signature, for instance. So these are the concerns which you may not know, and which the CCM may not even know. And that brings me to the question: was this program foolproof? Can you speak for this program, or are there people who receive seeds for other people, or people who are not poor who came in and received seeds for other people?
Chair, the standards that you are holding me to, you can't even hold yourselves to.
No, I'm on my list of no.
Because really you can get one person maybe getting to, those things we must make a provision for them. One person can sign for the other, really it happens. But if you want to come to Trans Nzoia, don't take too much time, because this maize is not just stagnant, it's growing. You come around October, you find no maize. You have harvested. So please come in this month of June, July, and even just see the beauty of Trans Nzoia in terms of maize. The plantations of small-scale farmers, but it may look like just like plantations, but they're different, only by different small-scale farmers.
Through the chair, number 4 of the submissions on page number 4 on the eligibility. The acreage was there: widow, elderly persons with disability, resource poor individuals, selection here. That is page 4. Now I want us to go to page 53. the minutes that we just read and look at what was introduced, and then that one will inform us to ask a question which I'll bring later. The chair gave out guidelines and criteria to be used for those to benefit from seed maize as follows. 1. Should be a resident of Saboti Ward.
Which page?
Mine reads 53. Mine reads 53.
The fourth.
Yes, of the governor's submission.
53.
Yes, page 53. Mine is 53. I think we have an issue with the numbering. Are we all there? So the minute says, the chair gave out guidelines and criteria to be used for those to benefit from seed maize as follows. Should be a resident of Saboti Ward, at least have 0.1 of an acre of land, should either be of the above persons, should be one who can acquire fertilizer for the farm. Now, when the minister was giving directions up here, there was no criteria that they should acquire fertilizer to the farm. Because a poor person without the capacity cannot be able to buy. Then it brings me to my other question. In the financial preparation of planning, was there any money set aside for fertilizer, subsidy fertilizer for the farmers? And if so, how was it used? And how were the beneficiaries found? Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Governor.
Chair, before the governor responds.
There are too many questions.
The Governor, hold on before Senator.
Yes, I am chairing another ICT committee.
Yes.
Just begging to step out.
So, Senator, do you have any remarks or any questions or any clarification you need from the Governor before you leave? So you can take up that question together with.
No, Chair, I think I am just a friend of the committee, and I believe the committee has their own mandates. So I think I was just begging for, as I was saying, I was just begging for, of course, fairness in whatever is being prosecuted. But I thank you.
Senator, I hear you to say that we are fair in our proceedings and that you're happy with the proceedings. Thank you. We are very fair. The Senator is agreeing, we are very fair.
Let me go on record and say I acknowledge you are very fair.
Yes, that's our DNA. Governor, proceed.
The criteria, the first criteria is talking about 0.1. I want to believe it's a typo. Because the criteria is very clear and it's done through a circular.
Excuse me, Governor. Now that you've mentioned about a circular, can Waziri provide that circular that she delivered to the ward administrators and the ward agricultural officers? That circular in particular.
Yes, I'll supply it in a few.
Please proceed.
Thank you.
So, in terms of new fertilizer can also be manure. You know, you don't just plant beans. You don't have artificial fertilizer. You can get. How much is it?
I think we are dealing with a very serious matter. That's why I generated the next question. Because here it means they can procure their own fertilizer. And procuring is a process. It's if it were in our culture, then you could have advised them just to walk to the nearby farm if one has no animal. But now my question was specific. This procurement aspect of fertilizer, why did the minister put it here and not on the circular? And I want that circular here.
We just encouraging farmers that whenever you give you certified seed and you plant it without fertilizer, you're not going to get the 6 bags of maize that we are telling you. You may get 3, not because the seed was bad, but because not giving enough nutrients.
Governor.
It's not like just the first rule cast in stone.
My good governor, it is not for the person to feel motivated by that sentence. That's why there was something called public participation and involvement of the chief, the uhuru, the ward agriculture officer. If it were in their minutes, we will see clearly they being motivated to look for an option to do that. That's why I'm raising this concern and asking our good Waziri, give us the memo that came from your office to guide. And in fact, it now brings me to, do you even have a policy that guides these farm inputs? Yes.
Can we go maybe question by question, because I was having many questions at the same time.
You can respond to each
at the same time.
How many do you have? You about? You can disaggregate. Start with the first one.
You know, we say we are procuring seed for poor people, seed. So you cannot give a condition that you must be able to acquire fertilizer. Instead of defeating, if you cannot buy seed, how can you buy fertilizer? So our focus is seed. And we're talking about seed. This one is a misplaced statement by a chairman. We should be held personally accountable for doing this minutes because no one knows what they were told. It's not a requirement. And chair, please get it from me because I'm the guest in charge of that county and I know what I'm doing there. I've not made any requirement for fertilizer as a precondition for getting maize seed. It's not there.
Maize can grow in Trans Nzoia without fertilizer.
You can boost it with manure. Yeah, and actually we are moving away from some of these artificial fertilizers like DAP. The national government put 76 million shillings on the budget for fertilizer in Trans Nzoia. It was supposed to be a conditional grant. It was on our budget. We never saw a single cent. If we had gotten that money, we would have been able to supply both seed and fertilizer. And we'd be in a better place. Not be talking about 3 years, be talking about 2 years. To sufficiency of food security at household level.
So, maybe you can move the next question, the policy question.
Let me just take members through. And I will request now that governors stepped in to say that is an erroneous requirement, that the county government now submits to us the other minutes, and I want to Secretariat, can you check all the other minutes? If that sentence appears on the criteria for the seat. Now, looking at, according to the 2009 County Fact Sheet Democratic Data, Trans Nzoia County had a total population of 990,341, with 811 residing in rural areas. Down there, finally, in terms of agricultural engagement, 129 households were involved in crop production, 96,800 households in livestock production, and 6,636 households participated in other farming-related activities. Now, having that statement that either one can procure fertilizer or they can apply manure, from an informed point of view as a ministry, what are the numbers of the poor farmer who has manure based on the latest survey that you've done that can now encourage manure to be applied on 2 kilograms of seedlings?
Governor, did you bother to find out who has manure or you just gave seed? I think that's the long and short of the question. And then the policy question, respond to the policy question that was.
You know, Chairman, the problems of the rural farmers are very many. As a county, we are addressing one now, which is seed. We give you seed. If you're going to get artificial fertilizer, get manure and plant with it, so be it. But we have given you seed, go and plant. Because the problem was, they were not even planting certified seed. They'll get this year's harvest, get the best product, put it on some fireside, not be able to dry it properly, the following year they plant it. And the production is going down, down, down. So we stepped in as government to provide certified seed. All these other things are also important. Fertilizer is important, manure is important. But for us, it's not our main concern. The main concern is to reach as many farmers as possible in terms of certified seed. And we're struggling. This year we did very well because Kenya Seed had previously quoted the price of 690. We did through government intervention, they were able to revise it downward to 420, enabling us to procure almost double. So we reach very many farmers, but not all of them. We want to strive to reach as many farmers as possible, just in terms of certified maize seed first. Then now we'll see as a county if we can now start coming in terms of fertilizer. Even if they just provide maybe 2 kilos or 4 kilos. Because very many farmers can actually procure fertilizer. Even the subsidy of the government, you supply fertilizer, you put it in a store, and just 2 farmers, big ones, they'll come and clear everything. One farmer wants to go and pick 1 bag of fertilizer, traveling 20 kilometers, really is not economical. So that was not just something like it.
Sure. Let me ask you a question just to so are you saying that your fertilizer initiative aligns well with the bottom-up transformation initiative?
The seed.
So you are
the seed initiative aligns well with that better.
So you actually ascribe.
I want the national government.
Transformation.
I want the national government to come to Trans Nzoia and benchmark that indeed is possible, even for this bottom-up economic transformation agenda, to provide even free fertilizer. All counties in the world subsidy farmers.
Which you believe in now.
Sure. Even before reading that blueprint.
Excellent. But now wait a minute. What is the total acreage that was planted, the seed that you gave? What total acreage was planted under that seed? I think that's an important question.
The crop today can respond.
Yes.
For the information.
And what is the projected food target? What is the projected production that you as a county expect out of that initiative?
Maybe I want to get
without
before you respond. Chairman, I think I don't know if it's in order for the governor to say that their concerns is only to provide seeds. The concern is food production. We want to enhance food production. So you must be able to know, by the time you give this farmer some seeds, suspect seeds, then you must also have a follow-up on the output. How much food is being produced in that place? Out of the knowledge you have provided, how much food has been produced? And how many acres have been covered? But if you see only your concerns are only to give seeds, that is not the right.
No, that you didn't get me right.
Food security is a concern. We want to enhance food security.
Well, you didn't get me right. I said in food production, there are many components.
Yes.
The government now is providing technical input through our extension officers, and we are applying seed for the farmer. If we get adequate resources, we can still provide fertilizer. But we know the number of farmers and the amount of land that they have cultivated this year. We have projections on how much maize could be produced this year. And we have consistently increased the production since we began this program. Production has been growing up every year. I think this year we're projecting 6.2. We are projecting 6.2 million bags of 9 kilograms. Yeah, and I think the second largest producer of maize. Yeah.
So, I mean, when do you start this program for When do you start the program?
It was the 3rd year.
This 3rd year?
Yeah, and every year you can see progress in terms of production.
So, what's the success that you are going to tell us? You have a success story to tell us that from the first year to this year.
Yes. Actually, for the last 3 years, we have added 1 million bags from 5.2 to 6.2 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
Through the chair, I want to appreciate these seats, but I want to ask a very critical question. These are names that I have. The rubber stamps are there. All of them. From the first page, there is no date. Rubber stamps throughout. Very fresh rubber stamps. But there is no date. That is number 1. Number 2, we have given.
What do you mean fresh?
The ink is as new as Dodo. I can hand over my file to Chair. The rubber stamps are fresh. There are no dates on the rubber stamps.
How does a phrase rubber stamp look like?
Just as it you presented it, Governor.
Chairman, that's why I was
It's okay, it's okay.
It is very clear. You can hand over the file to him.
Governor, I also do not have expertise in freshness. I can only look through my eyes.
My eyes are fresh, and young and smart.
So this is not enough.
No,
Let him proceed.
whoever thinks about it knows what he's thinking. Now I'm asking through the chair.
That's the question.
These seats as we give, I'm getting good projections. Do we have data of how much each farmer harvested? Because we are running into a problem in this country where we are giving farm inputs for free over and over, but no institution is giving us returns and value for the benevolence of the national government or benevolence of the county governments. And we must ensure our farmers are self-sustaining moving forward. Do we have data that Arubina from Machewa got 2 kilos, harvested this, and it's a good projection, tabulated as part of evaluation and reporting?
We have, Chair, we have that information, but for this session, we are focusing on this year. I can't really give you that information because we are yet to harvest. You have to wait until we harvest, then we'll know how much maize every farmer has harvested from the seed that we've distributed. But if we go backwards, we can give the exact figures. Of course, we can't go to every farmer, but we can do an average and see these farmers have increased their production by this much.
Thank you.
But the data is there. If you want us to avail it, include it in the list of documents, give us 1 week, every document will be here.
As I finish, because I'll still come back, why I'm asking that is the national government, using their village elders, they assist government in getting data of those vulnerables to get subsidized fertilizer. And if pushed or asked, they can table results. How many extension services officers are you using to give us feedback? Proceed, Waziri.
Waziri can respond with your leave with the permission of the...
Through the chair, thank you. As a county, we have a number of extension personnel categorized as the county government, and 2 we have the agripreneurs. For agripreneurs, we have a total of 167 employed by the national government, and for the county government, we have a total of 247. Whilst the ward agricultural officers, sub-county agricultural officers, and the field agricultural officers. So we work as a team. Thank you.
And do these people do their work? Because I said by now, the question I have asked, they need to have given you feedback. Because that is a very huge number of people with the boots on the ground.
Yes, they do. I personally go out with my officers here and give a weekly report to His Excellency the Governor. We do.
So through the chair, I will request that in the next 7 days, they submit to us the 2023-2024 projected outcome of the maize and the actual, because the data, they have given us the data of every farmer. Every farmer.
We do have the projections with us.
And now I want us, the same way the spirited filing of the beneficiaries, we are looking forward to get what the farmer harvested out of the benevolence of the state, so that we can be able to evaluate, is it adding value to Kenyans or we are wasting taxpayers' money? Second question with regard to harvesting, Honorable Chair. We are talking about harvesting. What is the post-management practices of these maize that we have given to the farmer?
Post-management.
Take us.
Governor, I think Your CCM has a very powerful voice. You could respond.
Yes.
Thank you. Through the chair, we want to indicate that as a county government, we are so much concerned with the post-harvest losses. And through the national government, we received 2 dryers for Saboti and 2 dryers for Mavuno and Cherengani sub-counties. We also had a program, KSF Cereal, that provided us with mobile dryers, which we use for our small farmers. And then as a county government, we have 2 big dryers that are usually hired. So we're in process of managing. Thank you.
Chair devolution, allow me to execute this matter.
Let finish.
Waziri, can you take us step by step? How many dryers does the county government have?
Through the chair, I want to indicate that in Trans Nzoia County we have warehouses. In these warehouses, which we identified, some of them got dryers from the national government. And I can cite, we have Kapsitwet in Kwanza constituency that received a dryer. Then we have Mavuno in Cherengani that received a dryer from the national government. Subsequently, we also have other donor-funded projects, and in this case, I want to cite the KSF Cereal project that was then in Trans Nzoia County. It is no longer in the county. We received 8 mobile dryers, and this targeted the small-scale farmers. As a county government, we also
Just pause there.
Thank you.
The Kapsitwet dryer, who's running the Kapsitwet? It's government funded to a cooperative.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The Mavuno dryer is a cooperative, right?
Yes.
What about Suegwa, Huruma?
It is a cooperative, but it did not receive the national dryer.
Now, that tells you the committee knows, right? What about the county dryers that were purchased 2018, 2019?
For the case of Sinyereri,
Yes.
when we assumed office, there was a stalled dryer at Sinyereri Cooperative.
Yes.
We tried to look for ways of repairing, but the information we were given by the mechanics and those people who operate that there were no spare parts to match the said dryer. And that's why up to date, we were unable to source where the dryers were bought from and how we can repair. So as we talk, the dryer is still there.
I'm not working.
Not working.
Let me through the chair, take you through the budgets, through the chair.